Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the All American Savage Show podcast. I am your host, John Burke, with my beautiful bearded husband across from me, where there's fingers poised over those buttons, ready to do magic.
That's right.
You're so magical. You're so magical.
Jazz fingers, spirit fingers.
Spirit fingers. What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're having a wonderful morning. It is 11 o'clock, roughly here in Dallas, Texas. It is a brisk 60-something degrees out. Our snowpocalypse is quickly coming to an end as we see winter almost on its way out the door, and summer is right around the corner, and that means in Texas, realistically, that we can fry eggs on sidewalks, and our balls are going to be hanging down to our ankles and our jeans.
Oh, I can't wait.
Can't wait for it. That's Texas weather right there. This episode is brought to you by ShellshockCBD.com. We thank you for your patronage over there and hope that you continue to purchase from us. Again, we're an all-American company. Everything's made right here in America. We really appreciate your love and support. Now, the new John Ross video dropped on YouTube yesterday. We appreciate everybody going over there and checking that out. And don't forget, you can enter to win the painting. We're not selling it. I'm going to give it away to one lucky email subscriber. And if you want to do that, you can just head on over to allamericансavageshow.com, scroll to the bottom, and then enter your email there for a chance to win. We'll be emailing the winner directly. I'll be posting it on the All American Savage Show page. You can check that out. And yeah, so if you like the John Ross, the Canadian flag that I did,
turned out nice.
It actually kind of did.
I liked
when
it.
I was doing it, I was like, okay, this ain't half bad. This ain't half bad.
Maybe make one for me.
And everybody's like, we should do an NFT of it. I'm not doing an NFT of it. I'm not. I mean, we should. I don't know. People in the comments on YouTube are like, you should make it an NFT. People don't care about physical possessions anymore. I was like, really? Are you telling me that you would rather buy a picture of a nice car than actually own a nice car? Like,
That's
are you
right.
that stupid?
That's what I'm saying.
That's just ridiculous. Can you imagine like somebody that like is heavy? And I'm not knocking NFTs. I know a little bit about it, so I'm not going to knock something that I don't fully know. But I can only imagine someone that's like so vested in NFTs of like it's like this dude trying to please a girl, and he has her over to his apartment. He's got like framed NFTs. Like, oh, I own that one, and I own. It's like
it's real FU money.
it is. I mean, it really is. Yeah.
My buddy, I told you about that.
Mm-hmm.
He had the Bored Ape.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's more of an
sold it for,
investment. I think it's more of an investment at this point because you have the OG, the original.
He sold it for like $300,000 or $250,000.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. We should do NFTs of these John Ross paintings,
guess.
maybe. I don't know. I mean, we might look into it. I just think we'll see. I'm not 100% certain, but anywho, a lot to get to in the news today. I went and watched the Daily Wire's preview of the movie Sit-In that was on last night. If you haven't been watching this, Daily Wire has about 3 movies they were in production on. One dropped last night. It was called Shut In, and it was actually a decent movie. I'm not going to lie. I'll be a fair critic. When I think a movie is garbage, especially if it's an independent film, I know people want to favor independent films more than anything because of the way it combats Hollywood.
Yeah.
This one actually wasn't bad. Gina Carano's film is coming out next month. I'm kind of salty about that. I didn't get a part in that.
Probably sucks.
I hope it sucks. No. Gina Carano's new movie, The Western, is coming out. I was really looking forward to that. She wanted me to audition for the lead part. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. So fuck her in that movie. No, not really. But looking forward to that one. It's got UFC fighter John, I think his name is Cowboy.
Yeah.
He actually looks really good.
Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah. When you see this dude without his beard, totally different looking dude. With his beard, it's like, yeah, he fits the role. When I look at that side-by-side comparison, I can't grow a beard. It's like, no, he nailed it. Like, he looks the part. Yeah. So it's a really good cast.
His face has been punched for like the last 15 years, so
yeah, that too.
Really worked it into shape for him.
That too. Yeah. And I just don't really look good with a beard. I look like a homeless guy that's on like Biden crack, like smoking Biden crack out of Biden pipes. So, but that's coming soon. But if you haven't seen Shut In, they had a premiere on it last night on YouTube. You can watch it for free. But now I think you have to go be a Daily Wire subscriber to actually watch the full movie. So, and this is not a paid endorsement, but I do want to support a company that's actually doing their best to counterbalance what liberal Hollywood is creating. I think Daily Wire is on the verge of doing that. And I would love to get some acting gigs in that. Like, I would love to be a part of some things they have going on over there as far as like the acting. I think I got bit by the acting bug. I did. I act like I care. Hey, yo! Okay, I'm done. I'll see myself out. I'll see myself out. So, but yeah, it looked pretty good. So kudos to Daily Wire. Looking forward to Gina's movie. She still has to come on the podcast. She keeps ducking me. I keep asking her. She's like, oh, when I'm not busy. I go, okay, Gina. Okay.
All right.
I know what you're doing.
Means.
It's kind of like Tulsi. It's like, oh, come on. When I'm free, it's like you've done like 10 Fox interviews. I know you're free. Like, don't lie to me. Just say you don't want to come on.
Typical Democrat.
It's fine. But all right. So let's get into this day in history, and then we'll launch into the news. So again, if the day in history bores you, if you don't like hearing it, well, take this time to go sign up for allamericansavageshow.com. Scroll to the bottom, put your email in, and you could win an authentic John Ross. Signed, everything. I'll even teabag the damn thing for you. I don't give a shit. So it's good. It's good. We do a lot. We care. We care.
That's
All right, let's do it. This day in history. I like that fade in you gave me there. That look. You get your finger on that, you're just pushing it up slowly. You're like, you like that? This day in history, Nelson Mandela released from prison. Nelson Mandela, leader of the movement to end South African apartheid, is released from prison after 27 years on February 11th, 1990. In 1944, Mandela, a lawyer, joined the African National Congress, ANC, the oldest black political organization in South Africa, where he became a leader of Johannesburg's youth wing of the ANC. In 1952, he became deputy national president of the ANC, advocating nonviolent resistance to apartheid, South Africa's institutionalized system of white supremacy and racial segregation. However, after the massacre of peaceful black demonstrators at Sharpeville in 1960, Nelson helped organize a paramilitary branch of the ANC to engage in guerrilla warfare against the white minority government. In 1961, he was arrested for treason, and although acquitted, he was arrested again in 1962 for illegally leaving the country. Convicted and sentenced to 5 years at Robben Island Prison, he was put on trial again in 1964 on charges of sabotage. In June of 1964, he was convicted along with several and other ANC leaders and sentenced to life in prison. Mandela spent the first 18 of his 27 years in jail at the brutal Robben Island Prison, confined to a small cell without a bed or plumbing. He was forced to do hard labor in a quarry. He could write and receive a letter once every 6 months, and once a year he was allowed to meet with a visitor for 30 minutes. However, Mandela's resolve remained unbroken, and while remaining the symbolic leader of the anti-apartheid movement, he led a movement of civil disobedience at the prison that coerced South African officials into drastically improving conditions on Robben Island. He was later moved to another location where he lived under house arrest. Mandela retired from politics in 1999, but remained a global advocate for the peace and social justice until his death in December of 2013. That is this day in history. That's a lot. That's jeez. There's so much to just dive into on that in regards to like how you're standing up for equality and certain viewpoints, and then the government's going to look at you as if you are a terrorist. I wonder where we see that at today. I don't know. But so Josh and I were talking before the show, and we all know that Biden is supposed to talk about his Supreme Court justice nominee he's going to put in there, and basically talked about that how he wants to make it a black woman. He said on the campaign trail he wants to make it a black woman. And this isn't really even about that. This is about just kind of like misinformation at the hands of big tech media. So Josh was talking about an article he saw on AOL.com, and apparently AOL is still a thing. I probably still have an AOL account I don't know about. I don't know. I got to look at it. But AOL published an article, and it says, new poll, 55. Now listen to this. Now, this is just, don't even focus on the subject or the topic, but just listen to what I'm about to tell you. New poll says 55% of Americans say nominating a black woman to the Supreme Court is not important. Okay. That's 55% of Americans. Now, what does that give the illusion of? That 55% of America doesn't want this. I think it's way more, but still.
Yeah. When
they published the poll, it's the Yahoo News survey that was done from February 3rd to February 7th of 2022. They polled 1,600 people. They polled 1,600 people. And that represents 55% of America? These polls are so, and the poll even leans in a favor that I would go into. But you've got to question a lot of the sources and where they're getting this information from. Because while this sounds good to us that agree with it, what else have they told us that we agree with, or maybe something else that we disagree with that is actually factually or statistically very inaccurate? Like, this is a bias. I shouldn't even say a bias polling, but it's not a polling large enough to give you an accurate outcome, an accurate viewpoint on what America wants. It's crazy to me how people will just buy into this hook, line, and sinker. So if you look at this thing, and I've got it pulled up on Twitch. If you're not watching on Twitch, you should definitely come on over. Follow me at twitch.tv/thejohnburke. We're live every day on the podcast. Before I forget, YouTube, this is the last day we're going to be streaming on my main YouTube channel. We're going to be switching over to the smaller YouTube page I will continue to stream on. This is the political one I've got. I'm posting the link there. If you just YouTube John Burke, you'll see the All American Savage Show thing kind of pop up there. If you go give that a follow, we will continue streaming over there. But the big platform that I have on YouTube, it's getting kind of hit, so I have to back off. So we're going to be doing more John Ross videos in the future. People are really wanting us to continue doing that. We will. But as far as streaming on the main YouTube page, I'm going to have to back off on that one because, again, we just can't we can't take a risk on freaking getting banned for talking about COVID stuff. And speaking of COVID stuff, there's been a lot of changes in the narrative. Right now, Israel lifted masks for children. They're going crazy over there with the kids like celebrating the classrooms. Democrats are changing their narrative as well now. Like even with the emergence of Omicron, Laura Fauci comes out there and says that we could see a change by the end of the year being out of this pandemic. It's like, well, if Omicron is so deadly, why are you saying that now?
I don't know.
That doesn't, like, they've conflicted their own reports so much that you can't even catch them in a lie anymore because it's all one big lie.
Those people are such scumbags. Keeping those kids in masks, knowing they don't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's what's going on with that. So, but Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan is crushing it right now, and deservedly so. I mean, the guy has freaking put himself in that position, whether you agree with him or not. I mean, he's taking some beatings online. This guy's still pushing hard. But Joe Rogan claps back at CNN and his haters in probably one of the most professional ways you can do so. He really knows what he's doing here as far as how he's addressing his haters. And listen to what he says. Joe Rogan to the media, the answer is not to silence me. It's for you to do better. Podcaster says nobody sees CNN's Brian Stelter and Don Lemon as a voice of reason. And the fact that they keep dropping left and right. They've lost Chris Cuomo, and then his brother gets booted out of office. You're losing people left and right. You had that one executive stepping down for an inappropriate sexual relationship.
They're losing people to scandals.
They really are.
Sexual And these are the same people who are like Me Too.
The biggest proponents of all these left-wing agenda movements that, again,
those guys were like the biggest scumbag perverts behind closed doors.
You just look at Chris Cuomo, and he has like rape written all over him. He really does. He seems the type.
You got Stelter.
That
probably
guy,
like gets a gag ball when he gets home.
Hey, don't knock it until you try it. I'm just saying. Don't you judge me. Don't you fetish shame me.
Flogged with like a...
Oh, no, I draw the line of flogging. I draw the line of flogging. You can't, no. If it hurt. I've never been into the pain aspect of sex. I couldn't get into it because like...
He looks like he probably dresses up with makeup and gets
I see him in a
gimp
like, suit, man.
Yeah, like
I see him
like
in a
total
gimp suit.
Weirdo.
Yeah. I just see him like walking out in like a leather outfit to include like the face mask, and he's got like maybe a pig face. I don't know. He's a dirty little pig. That's what he is.
Let's keep going with
keep going with this. Like, and then maybe something to do with like a pogo stick because he's hopping around because he's like so short. And he probably pays like prostitutes like touch his pee-pee.
Oh, probably.
You know? And they probably like insult him and they like make him like lick their high heels and shit. Like he seems the type. I could see that. Pee on me.
Wait, hey, would you pee on my leg? All right, Brian.
Call me Frodo. I don't know, man. I see him as being that type, but
you better pay me,
he looks
Brian.
like he's one of those guys that kind of deserves to be bullied. He just brings it on himself. It's like, dude, you deserve to get your ass kicked. You're just a piece of shit.
I know. He's awful. Just awful.
They all are.
Yeah.
But podcast giant Joe Rogan offered advice to the legacy media as efforts to get him deplatformed from Spotify continue. On Thursday's installment of Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan spoke about the problem various news sources have with him that more people believe me or trust me or want to listen to me talk. I can tell you this right now, and Rogan elaborates on this, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to kind of understand why Rogan is crushing MSM, because Rogan talks to both sides. Rogan will hear both sides out. And people are trying to spread this list around of the guests that Rogan has had on his show that are right-leaning versus left, and clearly the right-leaning is way more. And so they're saying, well, he favors right-leaning guests. Like, okay, well, that's interesting. Of the left-leaning guests he's had on, how many of them want to cancel him? It's very interesting to hear that. And actually, he's brought on several libertarian guests. He's brought on a few. Like, I want to go on his damn podcast.
He had Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
And then he was trying to say, well Bernie Sanders, like, I think probably a nice guy. I don't agree with him on his politics.
Yeah.
But he was like, Bernie Sanders would be a good guy. Seems like he just wants everybody to get along, blah, blah. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He's a complete hypocrite.
Oh, yeah. They all are. They all are.
I mean, Bernie Sanders is a complete hypocrite.
Joe is also, this is something I realized, like, I've been told to, like, try mushrooms because apparently, and follow the rabbit hole on this one. I know I'm going. I know it's like, wait, he just went from Bernie Sanders to mushrooms.
Okay.
It works out, but hold on.
Makes sense.
Somebody was telling me that mushrooms or DMT, like Rogan is pushing, helps change your attitude. It helps you vet a lot of the negativity and the anger, and essentially helps you do all like this, just anger shedding. And Rogan pushes this a lot. And Rogan is like, if you looked at him in his earlier days, you could tell like he was way more aggressive. He was way more just, I don't know how to explain it. But since he's been taking this stuff, I wouldn't say he's mellowed out, but he's become more understanding, more nice, more of a broader perspective. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But when you say something like that, it's like I could see Joe saying that, but in his past, he hasn't been that way before. And I'm not knocking the dude. I'm an asshole too. I get that. And I'm actually going to try mushrooms. I want to try this out and see what the whole thing about. I get some friends who tell me about DMT, give it a shot. And I think it's illegal, and I don't fucking care because it's my body. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do with my body.
Hey, it's your choice.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, if they ever make mushrooms legal in Texas, stuff like we will, and it works. Like if I test it out, it works, and we have the ability, we will sell it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying that they microdose.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not talking about, and people conflate this with acid tripping. It's not. It's not the same. I mean, you can take a lot and trip, but they say if you do minimal amounts of it, like I think it's something like 20 milligrams, it can actually help alleviate a lot of the anger and stress. Like I actually saw somebody on, I forget the dude's name. He was on Jordan Peterson's podcast, and he goes into very deep explanation of it, and he talks about how LSD is doing wonders. And I've heard LSD does a lot of good in the veteran community as well. It's just not very highly talked about because, again,
LSD does?
Well, I don't know if it's full-on LSD, but it's like the micro-dosing.
They were like giving LSD to soldiers back in like the 40s and 50s as like experiments.
But like high doses, though. Like they were straight up, they were straight tripping, Bill.
Hey, you know Alec? He killed a guy.
He killed a guy. Maybe he was on LSD. I don't know. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I think that it'd be very interesting to see.
I like Rogan's approach, though. I mean, I might not agree with him on his politics, but I'm sure he's like.
Well, you know, I think Rogan sets a very good archetype that, he does. He has leaned left in the past, but at least Rogan has an open mind. I think that's why people like Rogan and Gabbard are very well respected on the right as well. Not in all circles, but they at least have an open mind enough to come in, sit down, and discuss things, and you can kind of understand where they're coming from. And I don't agree with Tulsi on a few things. I don't agree with Rogan on a few things. But I like the fact that you can actually sit down and have a good conversation with them, an intelligent conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Rogan is like just destroying the hell out of MSM left.
Yeah, my whole thing is if Bernie Sanders has been in politics for 50 years, he hasn't done anything. You can't point to his record and name one accomplishment. All right? If he says, millionaires, billionaires, and Rogan saying, if I pay more in taxes, that's fine. Well, nobody's stopping you from not paying more in taxes. Yeah. Okay?
It's funny how you're not voluntarily going to do that.
Yeah. You could send in more money. So if you want higher taxes.
And he's not going to, though.
No, he's absolutely not. Everybody has to do it. I don't want to pay more money to a government that can't manage it.
Yeah.
All they do is pay themselves.
It's one of those things of like, I want to stand for this cause, but I'm not actually going to put my money up and do anything for this cause.
Yeah.
I want it forced on everybody else, and then I'll toe the line. Say, if you believe in it that strongly, do it first.
Yeah.
But they're not going to. They never will. So
I mean, that should be an awakening right there. Like, okay, all these people have been in Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, like all these people who have been in government for so long and have really just added to the debt, to our debt. So like, every American would have to pay, every U.S. citizen would have to pay like $90-something thousand.
That's why I'm for a flat tax. I think a flat tax essentially tells the government this is how much you will get every year based upon budget. It's not like unlimited cash flow. Yeah, right. 100%. Because I think a flat tax would fix a lot of that to where it's like, if you have a population of 350 million, of that 350 million, you have this many people over the age of 18 that are working, yada, yada, yada. You can basically expect a flat tax. And then there's your budget. You better make it work. And if you don't make it work, you're fucked. But the government won't do that. No. It won't do that. That's why, we have all these conversations about what can we do. And honestly, and I've talked to a few of my friends of mine like offline about this. It's like, look, realistically, if we don't vote in the right people to go in there and change it, that once they go in, they don't get corrupted by the system. I was like, it's going to take a long time to change it. So the only other way is you overthrow the government. But then and here's the problem, and this is the thing, that this isn't a capitalism or socialism argument. This is a human condition of greed argument. Because even though we have a capitalistic system right now, which again, it's crony capitalism, it's still corporate greed comes in there, infects the government. So even if we install, good faith players in the government, they're still susceptible to the idea of corruption.
Mm-hmm.
And then these are also the same people that have access to controlling the military, the police forces, things like that. So it's like you're not just taking on the government, you're taking on various different structures within that serve under the government.
Yeah.
So it's not so simplistic as, we need to change it now. It's like the only way to change it is put into people that are actually going to be good faith players, and then there has to be a way to regulate that. And I think that honestly, and that's why I disagree with Crenshaw, it has to come from term limits. It's got to.
Has to.
And then the other part of it is like, the thing that I love is like now Pelosi's talking about, we talked about the podcast the other day, is that Pelosi's now changed their stance to where, congressmen shouldn't be able to stock trade. But it's kind of like, not even a month ago, you were fine with it because she even said, we live in a capitalistic system. It's like, but when the people start vocalizing their opinion and they start saying, we don't like this. I mean, here's the thing. Like I even told Crenshaw, is you can understand the optic that this creates, because Crenshaw said, we don't have insider trading information. It's like, I realize that, but you do have the ability to influence.
Yeah.
I can't prove it, therefore I can't claim it. But I'm not above saying I think that there is a lot of shit going on behind the curtain. But at the same token, they also have the ability to influence government contracts that help with certain stocks increase, decrease, things such as that. So they do have a direct impact over the stock market. So when, for example, Nancy Pelosi, and all these things are publicly shown. So if Nancy Pelosi is investing in a certain stock and all the people are watching her, well, they know that her husband made $4.8 million last month.
Right.
So they're going to follow suit. So you are, in a sense, manipulating the stock market because people think that you know what's happening. But I guess you could also make the same argument where if Elon Musk was doing the same thing.
As a taxpayer sitting on the sidelines and these people are supposed to be running the government and looking out for our best interest, I'm going to go ahead and make assumptions as I see fit. So if she's in the stock market making millions and millions of dollars through her husband, and then there's some credit card legislation that gets kicked down the road, I mean, it's... I'm going to say there's some sort of insider trader information going on.
I could see that too, man. I could honestly see that too.
I'm not trying a case over here. I'm just calling it like I see it. Like they're scumbags. They're wasting our money, and they're getting into government to enrich themselves. That's it. It's that simple.
I just think it's so corrupted limits, at this point. So
a flat tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just where we stand now. And that's where I wish I had an answer to people. It's like the way it starts is you get involved in your local elections.
Yeah.
Right now, people I think are more focused on Congress, and as they should be. But we also have to make sure that we're actually focusing on our local elections, our gubernatorial runs, things like that has a massive impact. Because if you think about it, Congress does matter. But then you look at like figures such as Kristi Noem, Ron DeSantis, and I use Governor Abbott very, very loosely because that guy's just really pissing me the fuck off these last few months. But these are the people that at the local legislative levels, at state legislative levels, are fighting back against the federal government. And then it doesn't just stop there. You have city, you have county, you have various different things that continue to do the same thing there. So it's a good thing there. It's a very good thing. But that's what people have to start getting involved in local level politics and putting into people that essentially they feel are going to be, and I hate saying good faith players, but are going to be good faith players, and then you hold them accountable.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that it just doesn't make sense to me, to where it's like if we have these supposed rhinos, like Mitch McConnell, or you've got Romney.
Liz
Cheney. How do these people, well, I can't say Liz Cheney because midterms haven't happened yet, but how do these people continuously get reelected? I mean, it comes from their district, but who in their district are voting for these bad faith players? It doesn't make sense to me.
I think they keep carving up the district. Like
gerrymandering?
Well, you know how they were just complaining about how they were saying Texas got redistricted. They redrew the lines and all that stuff. So that's kind of what they do. So like up in New York, a lot of people live in the apartments and stuff like that. So they just redraw the lines to make it more convenient for the...
And that is an issue. That is an issue.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is. But
I mean, I'd really like to know how they do that, though. I mean, that's just kind of the basics of it. But I'd like to know how
it's done so easily. It's kind of like, how can both sides agree to this?
Who's doing it?
Yeah, that's something that I do need to educate myself more on. That now there is an emerging trend that I am seeing, and I'm warning you out there to follow the science, if you will. Follow the science.
Okay.
Right now, the conservative movement, if you are not aligning with Trump, you are a rhino. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you better be careful with her. You better be very careful with her. She is a loose cannon. And when I mean loose cannon is not the fact that she's uncontrollable. you just don't know what kind of stupid shit she's going to say. And she is honestly one of these people that I think she does a lot of good, but she puts her foot in her mouth a lot. And it is concerning to me that I've seen all these influencers that support her, and there are issues I do support her on. I was like, when she's actually out there using her platform to try and bring to light the January 6th political prisoners, good for her. Like, I love seeing that. Crenshaw needs to get in on that as well. There's other people that's like, you need to use your sway of influence into doing that. But the problem that I have now is to where if someone doesn't agree with everything with Marjorie, or if somebody doesn't agree with everything on Trump, all these influencers now are going to label you a rhino. And they're going to liken you to Crenshaw. And the reason I'm seeing it is I posted a clip on my thing on Instagram like 2 days ago, and it's a local election, not in my district. I forget where it's at. It's Mark Luttrell's brother, Morgan.
Okay.
I think it's out towards Austin, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Morgan's running for Congress, and I don't know Morgan. I asked Dan to see if he could set up an interview with him to where we can get him on the show. But it was Morgan and another gentleman, I think both of which were Navy SEALs, are taking on this other kid who's a Turning Point guy. And they just crucified him. Like, they ripped this kid apart. And this is also a kid that wrote a thesis on amnesty for illegals. And so I'm seeing like all these influencers share this clip now where they're asking Morgan Luttrell, did you take money from Adam Kitzinger? And he's like, yeah, but I didn't know who he was, so I gave it back. And everybody's like, oh, he's a rhino now. It's like, well, no, I don't agree with that at all. If he gave the money back, and here's the other thing, like here's the other part about it. And this is where people are so simplistic in their thinking. It's like, okay, the greater good serves all. So if he took money from Adam Kitzinger, does that mean he's on the take? But what are his policies? And, you know, people ask me, somebody tagged me in this one post of this influencer that I think is an idiot, Alex something. I don't know who this guy is. He's like a 24-year-old fucking weirdo. And he's like talking shit about, he's like, this loser. And it's like, bro, I was like, some of these fucking influencers, like you sit there in your little blue suits and your red ties and your political commentation. You seem to forget that a lot of these dudes that you're trying to flex on, like, and it's not the fact they serve. It's just like, you're talking very boldly, but you would never say that to his face. Yeah. You call him a loser. Like, these guys are actually like, they're business owners. Even people I don't agree with, it's kind of like, they've actually done stuff. They've owned businesses. They fought for their country. Even if they didn't serve, they've done something. Like, what have you personally done outside of internet slacktivism? Like, what companies do you own? You know, that's just one of those weird things that I've been seeing here. And so with people like Marjorie Taylor Greene calling these people rhinos that don't necessarily agree with her, it's like, well, if Luttrell took money from Kitzinger, what are Luttrell's policy stances? Because I think that in itself makes him a rhino. Because if you really want to go down to it, Trump fucking took donation money from Pfizer and the rest of them. Does that make Trump a rhino? These are questions that nobody wants to ask. It's just we live in this echo chamber now to where if you question that, then you must be deep state or you must be. And that's why people like Marjorie Taylor Greene that spin these radicals up, this is the QAnon 2.0 here from a lot of the shit that she's pushed. It's like, this is very dangerous because this is going to blow back, and that's why I said QAnon is going to, it's not going to destroy, but it's going to really damage the credibility of the GOP to recruit members from the left to come on over. That's the problem. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, she does a lot of good fighting, don't get me wrong, but it's like, fuck me running. And I even told Crenshaw the same thing. It's like, you say a lot of things that you leave yourself open to getting hit. It's like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. But that's just, it's the optics play a big role in this. But when I watched the clip of Luttrell, he's like, yeah, look, I didn't know what I was doing in the political spectrum, but I just know that I want to come in here and do some good. So I took the money, and then I realized who he is and what he did. I gave it back. I was like, okay, fair enough. I was like, but does that make him a rhino? Because if we're going to sit there and say that you're only going to take money from people you agree with, I can understand the optic of how it looks and basically saying like, hey, if I was to run for Congress and then I'm taking money from a socialist organization, people are going to say, why are you doing that? Yeah. And I would tell them flat out, it's like, yeah, I'm probably not going to take their money. I get the optics, but realistically, I'll take your money, but I'm not going to fucking go to bed with you. I was like, I'm not going to, I mean, you know where I stand. But if you want to fucking give me your money to put me in power, which is kind of stupid because, again, I'm going to be against your policies. That's just me. That's how I'm thinking. It's like, if you're going to give me money, I'll fucking take it. I'm going to put it towards campaigning. But again, it's all optics. That's all it is now in the political spec. It's all fucking optics. Yeah. Somebody takes money from somebody, they're a rhino. It's like, I can understand why you think that. But what are his policy stances? That's what I care most about.
I think too, it's going to come down to
that's just
because he does if he gets in.
The other part about exactly. That's the other part is will he stay true to that once he gets in? And that you don't know that for anybody though. That's just a roll of the dice. Hopefully Trump didn't fucking legalize marijuana. There was a lot of things Trump promised that he didn't do. We didn't get the wall finished, nothing like that. But even still, the point still stands. It's kind of like, what about these conservative political candidates that are running that are paying these influencers that are taking money from various different sources to include socialist programs? just to give them paid shout outs and give them exposure. Is that not, in a sense, through proxy supporting a somewhat socialist supporter? I mean, these are things that are kind of like, it gets so into the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
But it's like, all I give a fuck about is what is this dude's policy stances? Because realistically, that's all we can hold them to.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody wants to give him money to get him elected and his policies I like, I'm okay with it. But that just means the person that's giving him money is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Or, and here's the other part, like if somebody gives you a $2,000 check, which is I think the amount that Kitzinger gave Luttrell, or $4,000, that's not a bribe. That's just support. That's just fucking support. Like a bribe is like, bro, if you're going to bribe me, you better up that number way the fuck up there.
To get into the high sixes.
Yeah. You better hit me some 6-digit figures there, rather. Like, not going to happen. But I don't know. Maybe I'm off on that one. I understand the optics look really bad on it, but I'm sitting there, and because people are like, what are your thoughts on Luttrell? It's like, I have no idea. Well, he's a rhino. Why? Because he took money from Kitzinger. I was like, that doesn't make him a rhino. I was like, his principles and what he stands on make him a rhino, if he stands on rhino principles. It's like, so what are they? He's like, well, he took money from Kitzinger. It's like, so then you don't know. You just don't like the fact that he took it from Kitzinger, which I get that. I support that. I realize that.
We get into these situations where we keep
bullshit.
saying these same talking points.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like how you would watch the mainstream media and they're like, they're all saying the same talking point.
Yeah,
so
that's all these influencers. I'm telling you, the turning point influencers are the establishment GOP.
You got to look for yourself.
Exactly. You do have to do that for you. Don't, like this same Alex dude made a tweet. He said, you can't trust the press, but you can trust us, the influencers. Trust what we're saying. We have your best interests at heart. Like, you're paid, dude.
Yeah.
You're paid. The fuck are you talking about? You're paid by these other these congressional candidates. You're paid by these administrations. I'm not fucking trusting you. And I have some dirt on a few of these guys that you're lucky I'm going to go fucking public with. I'm waiting for these other people to go public with it, because it's not my fight. I'm not going to get involved in this fight, but I'm watching, man, because that shit's going to blow up in your face when that shit hits the press.
Oh, yeah. Eventually somebody's going to throw something out there that's going to
it'll be bad. It'll be really bad. It's like
it's not going to be a good look either.
You diehard conservatives in the Turning Point movement, I'm telling you, these influencers, you better fucking watch them. Like, when have I lied to y'all before? Like, when have I lied to y'all before? I have no dog in this fight, but what concerns me is the party that I align myself with most, which is Republicans. I see it it's going down a very bad road to where if you do not align with the Turning Point movement that has grown and put roots in the GOP, you better be very careful, because essentially now you've got a whole new freaking authoritarian regime that if you don't freaking toe the line to their beliefs, you're out. They will not support you.
I think, that might be a little bit concerning.
It's very concerning to me.
When Trump came along, the Republican Party was really, looking for a new face, because it's just an old party with the same old values and everything. So Trump comes in with his bravado and, it just really
his personality definitely
really opened up the door to, lay a foundation for, Turning Point. And
Turning Point right now at this point is a grift. That's all it is. It's a grift.
That's what
they started out great. They started out with a good thing, but then they went off the fucking deep end, because then they talk about big government sucks. And they turn around and they support big government because it's Trump.
You can't.
If the government's on our side, well, then we support a big government. Yeah. But if it's not, it's like, that's why I've moved more libertarian. It's like, I think you're full of shit as well.
Yeah.
I was like, you're just kind of like the same coin, just a different side.
It's not like
you
we're
just
favor sports teams.
Exactly.
This is about who can lower the taxes.
Exactly. It comes down to the wallet.
Who's doing what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
Who's
Which
governing
Trump
the
did.
right
I
way.
will give him that. Trump did a lot of what he said he was going to do, and then a lot he didn't. So it's kind of like,
for the wall, I got to say he was fought on that.
He was,
hard,
but
so
Trump should never have made that promise, though.
I think that's
why the voter base needs to educate themselves on when a politician comes out there and makes these promises. They need to understand how government works. Because anybody that sits there and says Trump's, we're going to build a wall, it's like, well, Trump, what if you're fought against in Congress? What if you don't have the majority? How are you going to do it then? Mm-hmm. And then we got into the whole freaking executive order stuff. It's like, oh my God, no. I can't agree with that. Even when Trump was doing it, the secure border funding, I couldn't agree with it. I was like, you were essentially circumventing Congress. That's why we have Congress. And Republicans loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. And it's like, okay. But then when Biden does it, I don't want to hear you bitch. It's like the whole 3 checks and balances, he's basically undermining it, and it's no longer a working system. And it's very dangerous, because what's good for the goose is not necessarily good for the gander. But Republicans, I shouldn't say all, and I don't mean to generalize all, but there's a lot of people that they will support something when it favors their their perspective, what it is they want to see accomplished. Like, oh, well, it's okay when we do it, but it's bad when they do it. It's like, well, the left says the same thing about the right.
Yeah.
So which is it? Or maybe nobody should be doing it. Maybe we should just align ourselves to the Constitution. We'll be okay. But yeah. As a matter of fact, a new article just hit. Good old Beto boy is back in the news.
Oh, jeez, I saw that.
Robert Beto, he's back in the news running for gubernatorial here in Texas. Robert Beto comes in and he says, I'm not trying. What to the chat watching on Twitch? To you listening at home right now, what did Beto originally say about the AR-15s? What did the old Irishman say? Even though he says Beto as if he's like a Hispanic population. Right? Well, what did he do there?
What did that
Ryan
douchebag
knows.
say?
Trump does what he promised. He didn't legalize marijuana, did he? No, he didn't. No, there's a few things he didn't do. So don't sit there and give me an all or nothing. Don't give me an all or nothing. What else did he say he was going to do as far as what did Beto say? Don't be a Trump loyalist in here. I hate that shit. Don't come in here with your Trump loving stuff. I'm a constitutionalist. I don't support or not support. I go by issue. You should know that about me now. Jesus Christ. So what did he say? He said we're going to be taking the AR-15s. He said it verbatim. You can go look this up. He says, you're goddamn right. We're coming for your AR-15s and the like. And then he flip-flops. Interviewed yesterday. He says, I'm here to defend the Second Amendment. I'm here to defend it. I don't want to take anything. Well, Francis, you said not 6-7 months ago.
I know.
Or before that, you lying little sack of shite. You lying little fucker. What the fuck? You come in here trying to undermine the Constitutional Republic of Texas. Get the fuck out of here.
He just realized that he was in Texas.
He realized he has no shot in hell. Democrats was a stupid move putting Beto up there. Stupid move from your part.
How did he become mayor of El Paso?
It's El Paso. I think El Paso's predominantly blue, I believe. He's got a name like, and this is how stupid our politics are. He's got a name like Beto. So naturally people think he's Hispanic, so we're going to vote for him because he's Hispanic.
He's just
he's a moron.
Yeah, total dummy.
You can literally, and this is how fucking stupid politicians think that you, the viewer and the listener, are. They will say one thing, and then not 6 months later, reverse it. Well, I never said that. It's like, well, here's a clip. Well, that's not me. Like, I don't know why I did my
Get out of politics.
Yeah.
Like, it's these kind of scumbags who keep popping up like turds in a toilet, like running for office.
I watched the clip, and he's just like, I'm not coming to take anything. That's not what you said before, Beto. You were hyping the audience up. You were energizing. You were pumping them up. That's what he ran on. Yes. And he got destroyed.
Completely destroyed.
And that's where we're at.
He's running for Congress.
Right. Now he says, I don't want to take anything. I want to protect the Second Amendment. Like, dude,
listen, guys,
you should use that AR-15 on yourself.
I know.
Fucking idiot.
See what the end of it tastes like.
I hate that shit. I hate people like that. Like, if you're going to be a Democrat and you're going to have a stance, then stick to that stance and don't lie. Beto is the worst category of politician. He clearly will flip-flop depending upon what the people, and most of them do. Most politicians are populists. And that's when we have the conversation about, is a politician a representative of their constituency, or are they standing for what they believe and that's why they were elected? Because here's the thing. If I was ever to run, which I'm never going to, but if I was ever to run for Congress or any kind of government position, it'd be like, this is what I believe in. This is what I'm going to stand on. If that's what you want to represent you, then vote for me. If it's not, get somebody else. Because I'm not going to sit there and say, what do you, the constituents, want? It's going to be like me saying, this is what I want to see. That's why I'm running. I want to see limited government. I want to see leave the fucking Second Amendment alone. I want to see taxes cut. I want to see a flat tax. I want to see those borders closed. I want to see our military budget kind of drawn down on a little bit. I want to see, the immigration reform actually come to fruition. I want to see Border Patrol getting the support it needs. I want to see a lot of things that are basically going to put America first again. And Trump was right on that. When you hear this, Trump lovers, you hear this? Are you listening? Because I know you like to tone me out when it's against Trump. Or you love to listen when I'm against Trump, but when I'm supporting Trump on certain issues, then you go deaf on me here. Trump was doing good as far as supporting law enforcement, supporting the border and shit like that. I'm not saying he didn't, but he was right there when he said put America first. He's right. America should come first. You can't sit there and help other people when your country's fucking suffering.
Yeah.
So that's just where I stand on that one. But anyway, let's go back to Rogan. Podcast giant Joe Rogan offered advice to the legacy media as an effort to get him to platform from Spotify continue. On Thursday's installment of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan spoke about the problem various news sources have with him. He says, more people believe me or trust me or want to listen to me talk. The answer is not to silence me. The answer is for you to do better, Rogan said. The answer is for you to have better arguments. When you're on television talking about how I'm taking horse paste and you know that's not true, he's taking horse dewormer. Rogan is spot on here, and I'm glad he brought this up. What you should have said, how did Joe Rogan get better so quickly? How come he got COVID that's killing everybody and he was better in 5 days, negative in 5 days, working out in 6 days? How come that's never discussed? And I made that point before because I said if CNN and liberals are so concerned about people dying from COVID and there is possibly a medication that fixes, that cures this, that helps prevent it, why are you combating it? Why are you trying to demonize it? Because it goes against the narrative. Like, oh my God, these people that are controlled by this narrative of like vaccination, there is literally a drug that has been proven to work, but the government already vested all of its eggs in big pharma to come up with all these fucking billions and billions of costs for vaccines. And now here's this other little horse pill that you claim that won a Nobel Peace Prize, by the way, or a Nobel Prize for, being a good thing that's been used by humans. And then you demonize it. And then the Biden administration comes in there and says, oh, well, you can't issue that. Like, you do not have the right. That's another thing. Here's another thing I would fight for if I was ever to run. I'd be a great congressman because I'd get up there. I would give a fuck.
You'd be like, you know what? Fuck you.
You know what, Pelosi? Go fucking start a shotgun, cunt. I don't give a fuck about you. Fine me $500. I'm already fucking making money. Suck my dick. But for me, it'd be like, you know what I want? I want doctors to be able to practice medicine according to how they see it should be.
Oh, yeah.
Leave them the fuck alone. If a doctor wants to prescribe ivermectin, that's their freedom to do so. Stop regulating this shit. Let them do what they want to do. And if they kill someone, they get sued for it.
Yeah.
And it's up to you, the people, to determine which doctor you want to use based upon how they practice.
Mm-hmm.
But why does the government have that position? Why do they have that role? That is dangerous. That is so dangerous. Because here we are, ivermectin. It's been shown to freaking save lives, and the government tries to put a kibosh on it and say, no, here's the vaccine. By the way, the vaccine doesn't really do shit. It lessens the symptoms. So does ivermectin.
Yeah,
and it's cheaper, and it's a fucking pill.
For,
and there's no negative side effects. You don't feel like shit.
For people say, too, that like monoclonal antibodies and stuff like that are harmful to your body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well,
where are you getting that from? Yeah, well, where are you getting this information from? Like,
even if that's the case, even if it's like long-term use is probably not good for your body.
Yeah, you're not using it long-term.
Is chemotherapy?
Yeah.
Is that good for you when you're fighting cancer? I mean, if you're fighting something and something works for a short period of time. God forbid
you call people to stop being fat and sitting on their fat asses. Well, then you're just a fat shamer. After clarifying he believed that the multiclonal antibodies he took did more to help him during his bout with COVID than ivermectin, he pivoted to CNN, which heavily pushed the horse dewormer falsehood. If you're in business and your business is the news, you want to get more people to pay attention. You should be honest, Rogan said. And my thoughts for CNN, my advice to them, I don't hate CNN. I used to go to them every day for news until they started fucking hating on me. Okay, well, Rogan's problem there is that you believed in the CNN's bullshit until they came after you personally.
I know.
Come on, man. That's intellectually dishonest, and you know that, Rogan. That one I have to disagree with you on. Either that or you weren't paying attention. Or maybe at least now you're awake. But realistically, there's a lot of people out there that would say something like that. It's like, well, until it affects me personally. It's like, well, that's not how it should be. You should have enough logic. And Rogan has enough logical thinking. He's a critical thinker. He's an independent thinker, and I respect him for that. But don't sit there and tell me that when they came after you, that's when you drew the line. CNN has been lying for years. Yeah. For years. And now you have issue with it? Come on, Rogan. Come on, dude. Stop with this. If you're in business and your business is the news, if you want to do better, just fucking change your model. Change the way you do it. Stop this editorial perspective with you guys like Brian Stelter and Don Lemon that nobody listens to. Nobody is like chiming in saying, oh yeah, finally we get the voice of reason. Nobody thinks that, Rogan continued. Have people that give out effective news, objective news, rather, and I'll support you. I would turn around 100%, and I'll be one of the people that tells people, I saw this on CNN and watched this on CNN. And that's where I disagree again.
Yeah.
Once you've compromised the trust of your viewership and your audience, that's it. You're done. I believe in second chances, but when you're in a position that holds such critical position in this country during that of a pandemic and you essentially sell out for political reasoning, I will never trust you again. I don't think you should be in that position anymore. So Rogan, and this is what I'm talking about the DMT, I think Rogan's a little too forgiving here. It's like I saw it on CNN. CNN will always be tainted for me, and Fox will as well. I will never trust anything that any one of these news organizations put out there without at least doing some fact-checking on my own. And here's the other thing, and this is why we live in such a dangerous age. Even Google has been manipulated to where it buries information and makes it 10 times harder to find.
Oh, yeah.
So say like, you want to look up something Trump said in the past or something that Brian Stelter may have said in the past, and you try and type in it, it is bombarded in other articles, and they intentionally do this to try and...
What Biden? Trump peed on a hooker.
Yeah, Trump got pissed on in Russia. It's like, I'm not looking for Trump. And that's what they do. That's why they're good at this. So when people say, well, I got this on the internet, it's like, okay, where did you get it on the internet? What was the site? Like, what was the source? Yeah. And that's like, I've been on TikTok for a while now, and I'm growing again over there. And TikTok debate is like the most cancerous shit I've ever seen. Like there's Twitch debate, and then there's TikTok debates. And TikTok is its own world of just insanity. I just post John Ross clips over there, and I love it. I don't even gauge half the time. I just post it and let people get triggered. I'm at like 120,000 followers now or some shit like that. Yeah, nice. It's growing. What are we at? What are we at here? 123,000. It's just John Burke over there. And I just post shit and let people get mad. I love it. It's kind of like I don't take it seriously. But there are so many TikTokers on there that I will watch. And TikTok's like the devil. You will go down a rabbit hole. It's the same as YouTube. There's some really good content on there. But then when you get into the political side of it and you start seeing leftist Twitter or leftist TikTok and you start seeing these debates, you're just kind of like, wow, like you guys, everything for them is source scholarly articles from activists. It's like, you can't take that seriously. It's got to come from an unbiased perspective. And then, like, where's the sources on this? And this is all they do. Now it's turned into, instead of like, you want to fight, it's like, why don't you debate me? Yeah. It's like, and I understand, and that's actually kind of good. You know, we should evolve away from the whole physical aspect to where, like, let's exchange ideas. Let's sit there and say what makes more sense. And that's a good thing to have. But now it's been rooted in this idea of, like, unless you don't have any kind of empirical evidence to back your play, you're going to lose. And I remember I debated, I forget who it was. I think it was Destiny or somebody else out there on Twitch when I was still doing that, was that, well, these scholarly articles you're quoting are written from biased scientists. You can't, once science has been compromised politically, it's out the window. Yeah. We can't trust that. And it's not even about the truth anymore. It's about a political hit piece. It's about who's trying to prove themselves right.
That's all they do is political hit pieces.
That's all it is.
It's like, it's just another wing of the Democratic Party. Yeah. It's propaganda stuff.
Yeah. So people ask me, like, what's your source? Like, bro, I'm just trying to use common sense at this point. And that's why when there's articles or there's issues that I don't know about, like the whole Ivermectin, like, I don't know. But what I do know is when I got COVID, I didn't get the vaccine. I went out and I exercised. I ate right, increased my vitamin C. But also keep in mind, I'm 37 years old. I'm in really good shape. You know, I've had multiple vaccines through the Army and when I was born and shit like that. So I'm kind of in a different percentile that's like at the lowest percentile of dying from this. So you can't really take my experience and use it towards yours. If somebody's completely overweight, as per the stats of what they say, and I don't know if this is flawed or not, 81% of COVID deaths were obese. Yeah. That's telling you something, which also scientifically makes sense because your immune system is heavily compromised when you are obese.
Yeah, Rogan was he'd probably be fine if he had taken nothing.
Yeah, probably.
He would probably been fine.
He's an in shape dude.
Yeah.
So but then, and you know, there were some good points because there was that one little fat YouTuber who was like going after him. He talked about Rogan talks about like health and stuff, and he's on so many steroids and shit like that. It's like, yeah, I mean, he's actually got a point. It's like being on steroids does not make you healthy.
Is he on steroids?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Rogan is?
Oh, yeah. Rogan's juicing like crazy.
How do you know?
Bro, you can look at him. You can tell.
I don't know.
You can tell.
I mean,
either way.
That's one thing for me. I'm like, I don't know if somebody's on steroids.
When you've been in the fitness world a long time, you can tell. Like when you have really thin skin, it's just, you can pick up on the signs. Yeah. And here's the thing. Like I take steroids too. Like I take them because my testosterone was low. It's anabolic steroids. Mm-hmm. But that's where a lot of these, and this is the point that I was trying to make, is that fat little YouTuber was trying to say, like, just because you take steroids doesn't make you healthy. It's like, just by taking steroids doesn't necessarily make you unhealthy either. It's all about moderation because the people that you see in the bodybuilding world are taking way too much. Your body's not meant to do that. That's because you have to moderate it. So my testosterone levels were low. I had to take steroids to bring them out to normal level, normal range. Therefore, it's not abusing it. And your body, active homeostasis comes back. It's like it comes back in balance. Everything is in balance, and that's why homeostasis means that. So it's like there's just so much to dive into on these very simplistic statements that these people are making. And it's like, well, he's not healthy because he's taking steroids. Like, that's not true. You don't know that. It's like, what were his test levels at? You know, what are his test levels at? You don't know that.
I mean, he would have probably been fine, but had he not taken anything. But
I agree with you there. Yeah, he's in shape,
like the cocktail of whatever his doctor put together for him seemed to work for him. Same with Bongino, because Bongino had cancer.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
So he got over it. Yeah, he got over it, and so he had.
I got better.
He had taken the vaccine.
Turn me into a newt. I got better. May we burn her?
But yeah, he took this like the same monoclonal ivermectin, all that stuff. So,
and you were saying that from the get go, and then they actually started setting up sites here. And didn't Tyler, one of our guys, go do that?
I think Jake did.
Jake went and did. Yeah. And then Jake said he was feeling better within like a day.
Yeah.
And Jake is extremely overweight. Yeah. And Jake, he came down with COVID, and he went and did that, and said he was feeling better very quickly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, and that's what I'm saying. And this is where we're at. It's like when you have all this information coming from the left and the right saying yes or no, at that point it boils down to anecdotal evidence.
Yeah, if something
that you have
is working,
nothing left to go off.
Yeah. Try it, right?
I don't give a fuck what you say. If you tell me that ivermectin doesn't work, and then I get COVID and I go try it and it works, like, hey, ivermectin works. I don't give a fuck what these scientists say. This is what I did. And that's why Joe Rogan was fighting that battle saying CNN tried crucifying him. Joe Rogan's like, look, I took it and it worked. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So, and that's why,
it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. It's just so dangerous.
So, but they got this is some Salon articles, their headlines.
That's Salon. I mean, go figure,
From crack pipes to critical race theory, GOP's 2022 midterm strategy is to overt racism.
It's always racism.
Why Joe Rogan's vaccine misinformation is so dangerous and dangerously appealing to his audience. I mean, these are the... These are supposed to be journalists.
These aren't journalists. It's all politically rooted. It is no longer about actual journalism.
This is
and
actual
news
propaganda stuff.
It's propaganda. These are propaganda mouthpieces.
I mean, this chick, Amanda Marcrati, is probably getting a check from China.
Oh, yeah.
She's probably got that Chinese money in her bank.
Rogan later forced CNN's chief medical correspondent, Dr. Sanya Gupta, during a contentious interview, and I remember watching this one, exchange to admit his colleagues were wrong to describe his use of ivermectin as a livestock drug. Even after being called out for peddling misinformation, CNN remained defiant, claiming in a statement the only thing CNN did wrong here was bruise the ego of a popular pod. Now, all that is, right there, just stop and right, like, that's deflection. Yep. You're deflecting. Answer for your crime. Answer for your crime. Don't deflect about how you bruised my... Why? Why did you demonize it? Don't talk about how you bruised my ego. Why did you veer from this when your own freaking medical professional that you go to said you were wrong? Don't deflect from the topic. Answer the question. Because what they're doing, that's an easy debate tactic. All you're trying to do is deflect to ego. Get them to deflect to ego to respond. All it's saying is like, you basically demonized ivermectin. It's like, you're not mad about that. You're just mad because we bruised your ego. And all you've done is you've taken focus off the ivermectin accusation to where now he's got that the person you're trying to lob that at is going to instead defend themselves, saying, oh, I'm not trying to defend and then it turns to usually an ad hom approach. But all they're trying to do there, it's just deflect. These are political commentators. They know this. And they know that most people are not aware of like those types of tactics when it comes to debate. They're smart about this. They know what they're doing. That's why I talk about this a lot in the podcast, especially when I did Twitch debates. It's like, that's deflection. That's gaslighting. You know what you're doing. Stop doing that. That's a bad faith argument. But Rogan's hitting back, and it's great because people are waking up and they're seeing this. And there's a lot of people on the left that are actually seeing what they're doing to Rogan. And I'm telling you, if you're on the left and you see this and you say nothing, it's eventually, what if you become the next Rogan and then they're going to come after you?
Oh, well, it's just a matter of time.
It is a matter of time. It's ridiculous, but people don't seem to have a problem with that, So... Next up, okay, we've got two different conflicting stories here. We've got some breaking news, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of where this is at. But for those that don't know, GoFundMe essentially froze the $10 million that was raised for the Freedom Convoy up in Canada. And they basically said that these are people that are now occupiers. They are being violent. They've got reports from the police. The police up there are so fucking corrupt. Like, dude, if the Canadians armed themselves and went and started killing the poliase, I'd support it.
Goose-stepping morons.
Little fucking brown shirts, eh? I'd support it. The cops are in the wrong. The cops supporting tyranny. Fucking there you go. But they won't. It's just, they're doing it the smart way. The smart way is to essentially endure what these police are doing to them, to essentially just make people realize the police don't care up there. I saw a video of the cops like pulling firewood. There was a big stack of firewood for the truckers to make fires, and the cops walk up and they're pulling it away and they're taking it off, saying you can't have that. That's crazy to me. That's just crazy to me that the cops would do that. Like, these guys are trying to stay warm and you're trying to fuck them like that. Like, dude, you guys are there to freaking, support, protect, and serve. And like, you're traitors to the badge. So, but GoFundMe froze that $10 million and said they're going to distribute it to charities that are GoFundMe approved. Well, then there was a new company that's called GiveSendGo that people started using. Apparently, they're a Christian-based company. They're not stationed in Canada. And that's where people start donating to. And now the Canadian government is trying to freeze that money. They're trying to freeze that money. So there is one article that talks about this. And it says, GiveSendGo defies fascist Canadian government order to freeze Freedom Convoy trucker funds. But now I'm seeing a breaking article over on Fox News. I'm trying to update it to see if it's updated. But it says, Ontario, Canada leader Doug Ford declares state of emergency over trucker protests, live updates. But somebody said that those funds were frozen. Like somebody froze the funds there as well. I'm trying to figure out, they changed the article. Because it said breaking news, and then they changed the headline. So I'm not sure what the deal is now. So I'm trying to figure out if they've actually froze these and it doesn't make sense how they could do that. How can you as a Canadian government freeze the money of an American-based company? Like that doesn't make sense to me. But then at the same token though, Biden administration is calling for Trudeau to use federal power to end this thing. Uh-huh. I'm telling you, it's coming to America. It's coming to America. They're getting ready. I know America's ready to, they're getting their freedom convoy getting ready to go. And Biden will use federal power. So you better be prepared for that. We'll support it. I will support that trucker convoy. Anyway, if we need to raise money, whatever we got to do, we will support it.
Yep.
Let me read this article. It says, Give, Send, Go defies fascist Canadian government to freeze Freedom Fund. Blah, 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 blah. All right, Christian-owned funding platform Give, Send, Go said it would not comply with an order by a Canadian court to freeze over $8.6 million in donated funds destined for the Canadian Truckers Freedom Convoy 2022, saying the court has no jurisdiction over the U.S.-based company. And I agree with that. The government of the province of Ontario, Canada, led by the ostensibly conservative Premier Doug Ford, put in a request with the provincial court to legally freeze the funds, and request that was granted. The Freedom Convoy 2022 campaign has reached $8.6 million with a goal of $16 million to support Canadian truckers as of this writing. Dude, that's insane. That's amazing. Let me see. Is this it? Where are we at here? Yeah, there we go. You see the pictures on the Twitch stream. Today, the Attorney General brought an application to the Superior Court of Justice for order to pursuant to Section 490.8 of the Criminal Code, prohibiting any person from disposing of or otherwise dealing with, in any manner whatsoever, any and all monetary donations made through the Freedom Convoy 22 and Adopt a Trucker campaign pages. Jesus Christ. You want to talk about fascism? You want to talk about fascism? That's ridiculous.
What the hell is going on?
Give, Send, Go has sent out a tweet February 10th, 2022. And in their tweet, they say, know this. Canada has absolutely zero jurisdiction over how we manage our funds here at Give, Send, Go. All funds for every campaign on Give, Send, Go flow directly to the recipients. All funds for every campaign on Give, Send, Go flow directly to the recipients of those campaigns, not least of which is the Freedom Convoy campaign. Now, here's the thing. You damn well better believe America's going to come after this. American government will go after this. And now I'm not sure on how this process works, but it's kind of like if you have that much money, you need to be like distributing it as soon as you get it. Like, don't sit on it. When you give it out to the people, the government has nothing to freeze. Like, get rid of that shit. Stop sitting on it. But I know it's probably a lot more complex. There's a lot, yeah.
A lot of moving parts there.
There are. This is another article that was just posted in the chat. It said, Ontario court freezes millions in Trucker Freedom Convoy's crowdfunding account. The convoy's Give, Send, Go has reached $8.4 million as of Thursday. A court in Ontario froze assets to the millions of dollars in the Give, Send, Go account of the Canadian Freedom Convoy on Thursday. Now, how does this even possible? How can you do that? Ontario Premier Doug Ford's office said in a statement that the province's Attorney General brought an application to the Superior Court. This afternoon, the order was issued. It binds any and all parties with possession or control over these donations, Ford's office added. The account with Give, Send, Go, which describes itself as a Christian crowdfunding site, has raised $8.4 million as of Thursday. The convoy has previously raised more than $10 million with the GoFundMe until the platform shut it down last week at the request of Canadian officials and refunded the money. At the request of Canadian officials, huh? I thought it was because the cops said they were, weird.
Sounds weird, eh?
Canada has absolutely zero jurisdiction over how we manage our funds here at Give, Send, Go, a spokesperson for the company told Fox News Digital. All funds for every campaign on Give, Send, Go flow directly to the recipients for those campaigns. We just read that. Ford said Wednesday that he had spoken with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau about what he described as the ongoing occupations in Ottawa and Windsor. We will continue working together to support our police forces as they manage these situations. We both agree this must come to an end, he tweeted. Truckers have blocked the Ambassador Bridge in Windsor, Ontario for days, snarling traffic on the busiest artery along the U.S.-Canada border in protest of the country's vaccine mandates. Truckers also continue to demonstrate in Ottawa, the Canadian capital. GiveSendGo CFO Jacob Wells previously told Fox News Digital he had not been contacted by the Canadian authorities directly regarding the new crowdfunding campaign on his platform. He pointed out that the campaign was created by the organization Freedom 2022 Human Rights, which is a sanctioned Canadian nonprofit, meaning it was cleared by the Canadian government to collect donations for humanitarian relief. Wait. He had not been contacted. Crowdfunding. He pointed out that the campaign was created by the organ. Oh, the campaign. Okay, not the company. Okay. I was confused. Like, so wait, it is a Canadian thing, but it's not. It's a campaign. Fox News Digital reached out for Convoy, for comment. And that's that. So did they freeze the funds or not? Like, it sounds like they didn't. It doesn't sound like they can.
For the second one?
Yeah, the GiveSendGo. It doesn't sound like they can.
Yeah, I don't think they can.
Yeah. So those funds are still flowing. Good for them.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, hold on. Here's the other article where Sleepy Joe comes out and says, Biden administration urges Justin Trudeau to use federal powers against trucker blockade. He already is.
Sleepy Joe.
Fucking just pieces. Like Biden and Trudeau, get rid of these fascist tyranny. Oh my God, these people are disgusting. The Biden administration reportedly urged Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to use federal powers to quell the truck blockade that has halted the flow of auto parts on the Ambassador Bridge. For the past 4 days, the Canadian Freedom Convoy protests have blocked traffic on the main thoroughfare connecting Windsor, Ontario to Detroit, forcing auto plants in both countries to either shut down or slow production due to the delay in part deliveries. And they're doing it right. Guys, I told you before, if you really want to put pressure on the government, you stop the flow of commerce. If the wheels stop turning, it's not that it's going to piss off the government. It's going to piss off the people. It's going to piss off the businesses.
Yeah.
And what they're going to turn around and do, and you're going to have them mixed. You got some people are going to blame the truckers, but a lot of people are going to blame the government, tell the government, stop fucking doing this, lift the mandates, and let's get back to work. Here's the thing, like truckers, stand your ground. Like, it would get to the point where if they start trying to do shit, slash your fucking tires, empty the gas tanks, and make it where you better figure something else out because these trucks ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, there's no way even if they had tow trucks.
They can't. There's no way.
Yeah, they're packed in there.
They're packed in there. It's a smart way of doing it.
Yep. They know what they're doing.
But right now, and this is what sucks about it, the local community, they're going to start suffering because the shelves are going to start emptying.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have to go elsewhere to get their stuff, and people don't like feeling uncomfortable. That's what's going to happen. Now, here's a funny thing here that I wanted to get into because essentially there was this Fox News contributor. This guy's a douchebag. Like, this is a news analysis, and I'm not the smartest dude out there, but he says MSNBC's Hayes says Fox News hosts who scream bloody murder if BLM blocks an intersection love Canadian truckers. Well, yes, because the BLM protests were protesting out of bullshit. Their causation did not meet statistically what they were saying it was. Their protest was made on the grounds of there's like such massive oppression, and it's not. There's not. And also keep in mind, the BLM protest burned and looted billions of dollars
right there
worth in damages. Like, how dare you even make that comparison? These truckers are doing it peacefully. The BLM, here's the other thing. If the BLM freaking actually had causation for their protest, they actually had bona fides, like, look, this is what's wrong, I would support it, but it's not.
It was just a peaceful protest. It wasn't a peaceful protest.
No,
they
it
were
wasn't.
burning shit down.
Yeah.
I mean, what did Nike do to them?
You were wrecking shops. You were beating windows. Civilians.
Yeah. Killed people.
Alec, I'm surprised he wasn't there fucking just wasting motherfuckers. Beto hands him an AR-15 and Alec just goes to town.
I mean,
there's a clear, staunch difference here. And the fact that you're trying to compare two protests, like, well, you support this protest, but not this one. Well, yes, the reason for the protest basically determines whether or not you're going to support it or not. So I'm not sure what your stance there is. Like, I don't understand. Like, that's crazy. But, oh, by the way, did GoFundMe freeze the funds for the BLM protest? Did they? No, they didn't. And by the way, that's during the process when they were burning buildings down.
Yeah.
Which you could honestly classify as domestic terrorism. And GoFundMe had no problem. That's why these companies, I'm telling you, if it got to the point where there's a civil war, go after these motherfuckers, root them out, destroy their fucking companies. It's like, if you want to support terrorism, you'll be treated like a terrorist. You know, that's how it was in the olden days.
Yeah.
If you are shown that you are supporting terror or you're treasonous, you're done. You're done.
You're done.
You either leave this country or you get fucking shot. GoFundMe supported the BLM. Oh, and right now the BLM is in some serious hot water. Serious hot water.
Apart.
Millions upon millions of dollars undocumented. They are in such Oh yeah, right.
No.
They are in. If you're watching this and you're by a computer right now, go to Google or DuckDuckGo and type in BLM IRS and just go look at what's happening right now. Right now, another New York magazine, murky finances of Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter opens up about its finances. Concerns raised over $60 million in Black Lives Matter funds. This stuff is like trending, ladies and gentlemen, but why isn't the news covering this? Why isn't the news covering this? It's funny.
I don't know.
I saw an article shared yesterday and talked about it. It was on Amory's page, and I looked into it. Amory posted about it. Let me look it up for you real quick. They're in some deep shit.
BLM has $60 million on hand, but it's unclear who controls it.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
And then the main person stepped down, and nobody wants to replace her. I wonder why that is. Why do you think that is?
Oh, someone's going to jail.
Absolutely.
Who is it?
Chris says, hey, John, would you be interested in having MTG on your show? Absolutely. I would love to have Marjorie Taylor Greene on the show. Absolutely. I wouldn't bring her on here to attack her or anything. I would love to have a conversation with her.
Yeah.
I'd have AOC on. I don't mind at all. I think it'd be great.
I would be curious to see what she would say.
Mm-hmm. Same. But that's where we stand right now. So this guy is like trying Marjorie Taylor Greene, for those who don't know, MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's MSNBC's haze. Go figure. It's MSNBC. These guys are like so far left leaning. Like the fact that you claim to be so intelligent and you can't even put two and two together why some don't support the BLM protest and they do support the truckers one. The truckers want vaccine mandates lifted. The truckers are sitting there protesting for freedom. The BLM was protesting about supposed oppression that doesn't exist, and because court outcomes were not going in their favor, and they just didn't like how the system was, and they burned cities down. They were a big freaking coddled class of people that didn't get their way, and what did they do? They got violent.
They got
weird.
Very violent.
Very violent.
Luckily, Yahoo News is still carrying water for the BLM. California DOJ targets a leaderless BLM global network for missing tax documents. Orders. This is the longest headline I've ever seen in my life.
Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, that's what it says. Orders group to stop accepting donations. She's in constant fear since leaving. Patrice. It's something else.
People are just, They don't want to talk about that, though.
No.
They don't want to talk about that.
Nah.
Oh, my God. Back to the article where the Biden administration reportedly urged Prime Minister Justin Trudeau use federal powers to quell the terror, the White House, this is our president of the free world. This is our president. The White House said Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg spoke with their Canadian counterparts and urged them to help resolve the standoff. These are two people. Like, you're... Mayorkas, you've got a border in turmoil and you want to lecture Trudeau? Buttigieg, whatever you are. You've got a fucking... You've got a block... You've got a shipping crisis that you're still dealing with. And you have this is how stupid these people are. It's like, it'd be like me if I would like declare bankruptcy giving you financial advice. It's like you are failing at your job and you presume to lecture somebody else how to do theirs? Please. And I'm surprised Buttigieg is even back to work with his two little babies that apparently his boyfriend pooped out because he had to have maternal leave for 2 months. That's weird because a woman doesn't get that. But if you're gay, well, move over.
And
talk about another protected coddled class.
And in government.
You gotta love that. Ford said its Windsor engine plant reopened Thursday after being shut down on Wednesday because of a lack of parts. But the factory and the company's assembly plant in Oakville, Ontario, near Toronto, were operating at reduced capacity, the automaker said. On the U.S. side, GM sent the first shift home 2 hours early, Thursday at its Flint, Michigan heavy-duty pickup truck plant due to parts shortages. Stellantis cut short the first shift Friday as its Jeeps plant in Toledo, Ohio, due to parts shortages. Honda will temporarily stop production on one assembly line during the day shift. And the thing that's kind of beautiful about this is now people are actually kind of seeing, like, when you, back in the day, if you had a clog, I don't know how old a lot of my viewers are. Did anybody ever have to snake the drains? Do you ever have to do that?
Yeah.
When your drains and your toilet stuff was clogged, you had to use the snake. Things have gotten a lot better since then.
Still do from time to time.
Really? Yeah. Stop taking those massive dumps, dude.
I know.
But there was a way to determine which drain was clogged. You would use some food coloring, and you could have your main line out to the street. That essentially you had your little opening, and that's where you use a snake. You go at it from the street or through the toilet. Normally it was through the street because it was really messy. But I remember that. Oh my God, that brings back some really bad memories. But the way to determine which part was clogged is you would turn on your sink drain and put some really bright red food coloring in. If it didn't pass through the main vein, the main line, that's where the clog was. So the reason I'm using that metaphor, that reference, is that right now you are starting to see economically how we are connected to Canada. To where if these trucks start moving, it's not just going to impact Canada. It's already impacting America. Mm-hmm. So right now, those plants are going to be working half shifts, less pay. What are they going to do? They'll be forced to go pick up other jobs to maintain paying bills. This has secondary and tertiary long-term effects. So realistically, this trucker thing is going to impact way more people than just the Canadians. And I still support it. When it happens in America, it's going to impact the world. Mm-hmm. It's going to impact the world. People need to realize that. And don't think for a second Biden is not going to authorize federal power to go after those truckers. He will do everything in his power to do that.
It's the guy who wants to give away crack pipes, of course.
Oh, now Jen Psaki said, well, the kits don't include crack pipes. Like, really?
Yeah.
Before they did.
It was spokesperson for HHS was very specific about what the smoking kits had it. Why would you call it a smoking kit in the first place?
Exactly.
These guys are such liars.
They think we're stupid. Jen Psaki because that's what happens.
They're like, oh, they think they're going to take out crack pipes.
Yeah.
Well,
something will go viral and it'll be the stupidest thing ever, but they supported. And then Jen Psaki and the rest of these morons will see the news like, oh, fuck, we're getting ripped apart. And then they'll come out in a press brief and say, no, we're not including crack pipes. It's like, well, then why is it a smoking kit? Like, don't treat us like we're stupid. You're just reactionary at this point. America is getting sick and tired of the Biden administration, and we're in year 2.
The spokesperson for the HHS.
I know.
Told a journalist from the Free Beacon that's what was.
Yeah.
I mean.
And by the way, HHS falls under the federal government. So it's like, I don't know, like, who's getting their lines crossed here?
$30 million.
$30 million. Hey, black people, that's going to fix the racial inequality in the inner city ghettos. Gosh. Smoke cleaner crack.
Needles,
this is how
syringes.
Stupid they think you are, folks.
I want to keep everybody high.
This is how stupid they think you are.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Before we continue, make sure you check out shellshockcbd.com. We've got a special Valentine's Day deal going on right now. It's just started today. Go check the website. You can get some really good deals if you check it out. The Delta 8 chocolate. Yes, this will get you high. Yes, you will fail a drug test. You can use that. We got some really good deals on the website right now if you have not checked it out. Again, that is shellshockcbd.com. People were asking us to run some sales. Well, here we are. Here's your Valentine's Day sale. I'm pulling it up on the big screen for if you're watching on Twitch. Welcome. You can check it out right here. We've got an amazing sale here. It says score in more ways than one this V-Day. Oh. Save with these euphoric bundles. Free 2-day air shipping for orders over $200. Free next-day air shipping for orders over $300. If you hit that Shop Now button, it's going to take you to our combo deals. We've got the Sexy Time bundle that's valued at $94. We slashed prices from $129. We've got the Doritos, and 2 Delta Bar bundle. Then we have the Makeout bundles with just the Doritos and the Weedos. That is basically a Dorito with Delta 8 and a Cheeto, but it's not actually those brands. We don't got it sued, but it tastes very similar, and it's with Delta 8. And again, that value pack is valued at $37.98. Normally, it's at $49.98. And then we have the Delta Bar bundle, which is the 2 Delta 8 bars for a white chocolate and a dark chocolate. That is valued normally at around $80. We've got it for $59.99. You can check it out now at Shell Shock CBD. This is our Valentine's Day special here. This is going on through the weekend, I believe. So you can go here, shellshockcbd.com /Valentine's-Day-special and check it out there. Great prices. You want to support us, either subscribe on Twitch or go check out these great bundles there. We really appreciate your love and support, guys.
Yeah, that chocolate is
it's fucking bad.
That's next level.
I had to start sticking with the gummies again because when I take a bar of that chocolate, like I'm past the moon to Saturn.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm on the way.
They're just like little squares. So there's 12 squares.
Yeah. Each square is 40 milligrams.
Right.
And the gummies are 25. It's dangerous.
It hits you hard.
That's what she said.
It's a real commitment.
Stuff's amazing. So
very, very good.
Check it out. Again, it is shellshockcbd.com. We appreciate that love and support. Genocide Barbie, Eileen Gu, blasted for claiming China has internet freedom. How like, how stupid do you think people are? Like, that's exactly what a communist sympathizer would say. Like, oh, no, we have internet freedom. Then why are you banning people that criticize that Chinese figure skater that failed? The one that defected. Why are you banning their accounts? We talking about internet freedom. Shut the fuck up.
Jake Tapper, I think, was talking, what was that on, like CNN? Or not CNN, but like, I forget where I saw it, but Jake Tapper he was talking about Xi Jinping, and they cut the bars and tone on him. Silenced him. He started criticizing China.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah. It's out there. They're not afraid to do it in front of the world.
No, they don't give a fuck. Because what's anybody going to do?
You will shut your mouth.
Exactly. Like, ladies and gentlemen, you want to talk about when you have a communist government, they don't care. They can do whatever they want to do. The world won't stop them. Their world will not stop. We're not going to war with China.
I still can't believe the Olympics is over there right now.
Me neither. Yeah. Bro, you've seen the picture of where they're holding it at, right? Where the slopes are.
Yeah.
And they got like the big, massive fucking reactors in the background.
It's
like,
Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Genocide Barbie, Eileen Gu, the U.S.-born skier who competed for China in the Olympics, has been getting blasted on Chinese social media for claiming the government communist dictatorship tolerates internet freedom. America doesn't even have that. You think China is? Get the fuck out of here. While Chinese and American establishment media outlets have been celebrating Gu as a transcendent figure, the commoners of China appear to have discovered the athlete for what she is, an opportunist who blew off the United States to legitimize an oppressive regime. That's exactly what she's done.
Yep.
They are on the money with this on Breitbart. On Tuesday, prior to her winning the gold for China in the women's freestyle big air competition, an Instagram user scolded Gu for failing to see how China stifles freedom of speech. They said, "Why can't you use Instagram and millions of Chinese people from mainland cannot?" The user said, why you got such special treatment as a Chinese citizen? That's not fair. Can you speak up for those millions of Chinese who don't have internet freedom? Gu replied, anyone can download a VPN. It's literally free on the App Store. Then you just confirmed it, you idiot. You just confirmed it. Like, are you really that stupid? Like, I can't put my head around this. Like, anyone can download a VPN. That's circumventing fucking them censoring you, you dumb bitch. Like, my God, you can't be this dumb. That's like saying, it's like, the government's banned driving. Well, anybody can get roller skates. Yeah. It's not the same. I mean, come on. That's just ridiculous. China allows its citizens to use only its approved social media apps, while Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and WhatsApp are blocked in the communist country. Despite that, a screenshot of her post being circulated on the Chinese social media app Weibo and sparked significant backlash according to protocol. Many Weibo, and for those who don't know, Weibo is a Chinese-based app that they have to use, and the government regulates it very strictly to where if you criticize anything against China, they will ban your account. And they'll probably send some people to your door and beat the shit out of you. Many Weibo users marveled at Gu's unwavering ability to push back against keyboard warriors and defend the motherland. Others, however, were irked by Gu's comments and invoked the phrase, why don't they eat minced meat? A quote by a Chinese emperor taken to reflect his frivolous disregard for his famished citizens and his poor understanding of their plight. Literally, I'm not anyone. Literally, it's illegal for me to use a VPN. Literally, it's not fucking free at all, one Weibo user railed. Shortly after Gu's Instagram screenshot went viral with over 3,000 shares on Weibo, the post was then censored to exclude her bit about free VPNs. I mean, just jump off a cliff at this point, you idiots. Just jump off a cliff. You're so stupid. Like, oh my God. Like, you say that there's internet freedom, but you have to use VPN, which circumvents the government, but then the government then basically creates propaganda from your statement by not letting people know about the VPN services. And you're telling me that internet is free? Internet freedom is free? Like, you are I hope they fucking do what you deserve. Put you in a fucking gulag. You know why? Because those people suffering right now, you don't give two shits about them. You're a communist sympathizer. I'm glad that you went to China, and I hope you get your just rewards over there. Fucking communists. I swear to God, you are so brainwashed. That's why the liberal left is more communistic than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Chinese state propaganda shared the effusive praise of American athletes for Chinese Communist Party volunteers at Beijing Olympics. The organization Freedom House has routinely labeled China one of the world's worst abusers of internet freedom. Any athlete, regardless of their nationality, is free to express their political views or not to, one Chinese WeChat user said of Gu. But as a member of the global elite, as a superstar athlete who has a big platform and has spoken about racism and against Asian Americans and aspires to inspire young women, her silence on certain topics and her why not eat minced meat attitude rubs people the wrong way. She's just an American guest who's maximizing her personal interest in this chaotic world. That's all. And I agree. What about the freaking genocide going on right now over there? You talk about internet freedom. Why is that not hardcore in the news? They don't let it get out. Please elaborate more for me. These people are pieces of shit. Just disgusting individuals. I don't grasp how anybody could ever support communist China. I just don't. Just sit there and say they have internet freedom? Yeah. And then, yeah, somebody in the comment made a good point. She'll be working for Nike here soon. She'll get a Nike deal. Move over Colin Kaepernick.
I know. Or NBA.
And then soon she's going to be oppressed because she's Asian. That's coming next. It's coming next. Well, maybe not, because she's not coming back to America. She defected. So she's stuck in China.
Oh, God.
Good luck with that. Oh, my God.
Having that view of those nuclear reactors.
Apparently,
like
they're cooling towers, from what I was informed in chat. They're cooling towers. All
Are they
plants
cooling
have them.
it?
Yeah, but it's still funny that you have it right next. Like, the Olympics is like freedom and shit, and you've got it right next to like an industrial complex. It's like probably not the healthiest spot to put that, but
nice.
Whatever.
That's out of all the places they could have put it. Like, put it by the reactor.
Oh, my God. That's where we're at now, ladies and gentlemen. That is where we're at. All right. Well, that wraps it up for this episode of the All-American Savage Show podcast. Today is your last day to enter to win the new John Ross painting that just dropped yesterday on YouTube. Have you seen this video? I hope you have. I was going to entitle it How to Paint Like an N-Word, but I didn't want to get flagged. So the newest video on YouTube is How to Paint Like a Racist. You can check it out. It is live. It's roughly 12 minutes long. It's packed full of great comedy bits. Josh did a damn good job editing it. We appreciate your love and support. All the comments that you push on there, we really appreciate. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you for supporting us. Uh-oh. Where'd this come from?
See that?
Uh-oh. It was only a matter of time. Breaking news from Breitbart that Josh just forwarded this to me. Snoop Dogg sued over sexual assault ahead of Super Bowl. Okay, I haven't even read the article. I'm going to pull a Johnny Carson on you real quick. I have not even read the article. I'm going to tell you what's happened. I haven't even read this, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. This guy, now here's the thing. Now don't forget, in the past, we have seen this multiple times happen. If it's someone white and they are hit with any kind of sexual assault accusation, their sponsors drop them. They get pulled even before a trial can happen. They are not going to touch Snoop D-O-double-G because he's black. They are not going to touch him. They won't go near him.
Ooh, I think I agree. with
They're not going to go near him. Rapper Snoop Dogg has been slapped with a lawsuit for alleged sexual assault and battery days ahead of a scheduled Super Bowl halftime show performance. The lawsuit filed on behalf of Jane Doe by attorney Mark E.O. Finkelberg alleges that Snoop Dogg, real name Calvin Broadus, ordered a woman to put his genitals in her mouth without her consent before masturbating on her at his California home in 2013. According to the lawsuit, Jane Doe and a friend met an associate of Snoop Dogg's, Bishop Don Magic One, a real name Donald Campbell, at a nightclub in May 2013 and later went to Snoop Dogg's studio. When Jane asked Campbell to take her home, he took her to Snoop Dogg's house instead where the assault allegedly happened. The lawsuit alleges that the woman asked Campbell to take her home later that evening and her friend had left, but Snoop Dogg's associate instead took her back to his house. The court filings further allege that Campbell forced his genitals in front of her face and in her mouth without her consent. Campbell subsequently allegedly pushed her to come with him to Snoop Dogg's studio despite her objecting to the move and saying she did not feel well. The court filings noted, after arriving at the studio with Campbell, she later went to the bathroom given that she was not feeling well. Court filings allege that Snoop Dogg entered the bathroom where he ordered her to put his genitals in her mouth and later masturbated before her leaving. The court filings called rapper Snoop Dogg's actions sexually predatorial, as Jane, who had been hired to dance in rapper shows, feared for her job security if she did not perform. Plaintiff felt pressured by defendant Snoop Dogg due to his domestic and his position of power, or his dominance and position of power over her, including his ability to hire and fire her and ensure that she would never be hired in his industry again, the filing said. Snoop Dogg has not commented publicly on the lawsuit, which comes days before his scheduled halftime show performance at the Super Bowl, where he will rap alongside Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige. Isn't that weird?
Huh.
Now, here's the thing. Is he guilty? I don't know. He deserves his day in court. Why did she wait? Like 2013, why are you waiting until now? Right before the Super Bowl.
Whose rules are we following now?
Exactly. Are we following the Constitutional rules? Are we following liberal rules? Because if it's liberal rules, he should be fired. He should be drugged through the court of public opinion. This guy, like the Me Too movement, should jump on top of this. Alyssa Milano should be taking off her bra and burning it.
Yeah.
Until she finds out, oh, wait, he's black? Oh, well, maybe she was dressed, inappropriately. And then they start flipping the narrative, and they're not going to go near him because he's black. Guarantee. You want to talk about a protected class of people in America, I'm telling you, this will get buried.
Oh, yeah.
This will get buried.
Anybody else, though? It's the NFL. They've got stop racism on the back of their helmet.
Stop hate. How many NFL players have been, locked up for rape?
Yeah.
It's, rampant through that community. Please.
I mean, it's...
Smoke weed every day.
I know. Something else.
Ain't nothing but a nut
I'm interested to see what happens.
Nothing's going to happen. I'm telling you, he's protected.
We're like, well, we don't know anything.
And why isn't there any blowback having a Snoop Dogg who's dropped the N-bomb more times than anyone?
No, because it's Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, right? Oh, it's okay when black hip-hop artists do it, but God forbid anybody else does it. In the same context.
Nope. He smokes weed.
Yep.
He assaults women.
All right.
Allegedly.
Well, that does it for this show, ladies and gentlemen. We can't thank you enough for tuning in. And again, it is your last chance to go enter to win the John Ross painting that we did on YouTube yesterday. Here's the website, allamericансavageshow.com. Go scroll down to the bottom, enter your email in. We're going to pick an email winner this weekend. It'll be announced on Monday. We'll announce it on Monday's show. And you're going to win that John Ross painting. I'll sign it. We'll send it out to you. You don't pay anything just for signing up for our email list. It doesn't cost you a thing. And, by the way, when we do these future John Ross skits, you're automatically entered to win those paintings as well. You don't have to re-enter. Once you're in, once you put your email in, you're in. That's all there is to it. So you stay entered to win future paintings and other giveaways, not to mention the tanker giveaways we're doing. So you got to go do that. allamericансavageshow.com. There is the link. allamericансavageshow.com. Scroll to the bottom. Enter your email. That's all you got to do. We appreciate you. Ready to run that outro music. We thank you for being here. Again, make sure you check out shellshockcbd.com for the Valentine's Day sale that is currently going on. We love you. We appreciate your support of us. Thank you for sharing the videos. If you want to help us out, go share that YouTube video. That helps get our message out there. Facebook has basically cut my reach by 50%. I posted on my Facebook post this morning. You can see that there. They are destroying my reach, and it's only going to get worse. The only way to keep in touch with you is to continue streaming on these platforms and have an email list built where I can reach out to you and tell you what's going on in the world. You got anything to add, my man?
Oh, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. You stay savage, and we'll see you back here bright and early Monday morning for the All American Savage Show podcast.